of the time we're living in. And so the question about authority, how did Muslims deal with this? Because again, one of the things that we can learn from the ancients is that they went through the same things that we're going through. They had authority problems in the early part of Islam. They went through their own types of disintegration. They went through their sectarianism, their schisms, right? The Sunnah Shia split is a schismatic split. And the Prophet said that you will split. He told us that. It's human nature. But then he said, but one group is guided. So everybody, if they're all claiming that, how is that claim substantiated? Because the Ismailis claim that they have the Batini authority, and this is what gives them the truth. The Shia claim that they have the Ahl-al-Bayt authority of the unbroken chain of the 12 impeccable imams that can't make mistakes. Within the Alawi or the Nusayri, also a sect, a radical sect of the Shia tradition, claims that they have a direct line to Ali, who's an incarnate, like the Logos, like Jesus. So you have all these different competing claims. What substantiates them? What legitimates them? What enables us to discern haqq from batil, the furqan? What is that? And somebody was talking about assumptions earlier. It's a problem because we assume many things. Most people were simply born in a place and they take on the historical, cultural nature of that place they were born. One philosopher terms them historical products. They're products of their historicity. And so they're trapped in a religious, ethical, social, economic situation that determines everything that they're going to think about those things. And so we live in a time where people have prepackaged ideas that the great leisure domain of the time is to make people think that these are their own ideas, that they came up with them themselves, that this is some kind of self-actualization, that I believe these things and I came to these conclusions myself. Everything's relative. You can trace that there's a senad with that idea. That has a lineage. And you are in a chain of transmission when you make that statement. And we can trace that chain and see who the first people that said it were. If you say there's no God, there's also a chain of atheists. You're in a chain, you're in a isnad. Whatever position you take that you think is uniquely your own or original, you are in a chain of transmission. Now, from our perspective, and I'm talking about from believers, whether you're Christian or other traditions, because almost all these religious traditions do believe in a dark realm, those chains either go back to demonic sources or they go back to angelic sources. So either Iblis is at the end of the Haddathani Marx, on Hegel, right? And you go back and then Iblis was the first Rawi in the chain. And so that's your chain. It goes back to Iblis. So you're a transmitter of narrations from Iblis. He's your source. But people don't recognize that. Or you go back to Haddathani an fulan, an fulan, an fulan, an Isa ibn Maryam, an Jibreel, right? Or from God. So these are the basic, the two, fariqun fil jannah wa fariqun fil sa'ir. Those are the two chains. You're in one or the other. There's no other chain in dunya. You're either in the chain of Iblis's transmission or you're in the chain of prophetic transmission. Now Iblis, people forget, you see, that the occult, people don't want to deal with the occult. The occult is everywhere. You're dealing with occultic phenomena everywhere. There are occultic elements in the way San Francisco was designed architecturally. There's a reason why Pier 33 is the central pier in San Francisco. There's a reason why there's a pyramid embodied in the actual street structure of San Francisco. Washington, D.C. is designed in an occultic design. Why? Because there are people that have religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, and those spiritual beliefs impinge the way they see the world, the way they act upon the world. All you have to look up is John Parsons, one of the most important people in rocket science, developed a type of fuel that enabled the whole telecommunications period. And he was an open worshiper of whatever you want to call that dark force. He was open about it. It's on his Wikipedia site, and there's books about it. So you have scientists that are in the occult that are at the highest levels. You have people in government at the highest levels that are in occultic rituals. I mean, this is part of the world. The Christians have a saying from Paul that our battle is not of the flesh and the blood, but it's with the principalities of darkness. And so if you want to know who's behind Syria, it's not the Alawiyya, it's not the Iblis is behind that situation. These are dark forces working to destroy people's homes, to destroy their lives, to destroy their livelihood, to make them suffer, to put them into a state of despair, ablasa, to make them question God. Where's God? How could there be a God? How could he let little children suffer like this? These are the questions that Iblis always poses. And people in weakened states, when their faith is low, when they're suffering, they will succumb to those demonic insinuations. This is called telbisu iblis, the dupery of the devil. Telbisu iblis.